What's up, everybody? My name is Richie, if you haven't figured that out yet. And today, I'm going to be talking to you about World War II. World War II was the deadliest military conflict in the world history. An estimated of 70 to 85 million people perished, which was about 3% of the world's population at that time. The war lasted from September the 1st, 1939 to September the 2nd, 1945. So the war lasted 6 years and a day. The war began when Nazi Germany invaded Poland on September the 1st, 1939. The vast majority of the world's countries, including all the great powers, eventually formed two opposing military alliances, the Allies and the Axis. The Allies consisted mostly of the United States, Britain, France, and the Soviet Union. The Axis powers consisted of Nazi Germany, Italy, and Japan. A state of total war emerged, directly involving more than 100 million people from more than 30 countries. The major participants through the entire economic, industrial, and scientific capabilities behind the war effort, blurring the distinction between civilian and military resources. After Germany invaded Poland, Hitler focused on invading France, which he did so on May 10, 1940, and by June 25, 1940, France surrendered. This also led to a famous battle called Dunkirk, when the Germans pushed the British and the French all the way to the coast, and the people of Britain and the Navy came over and rescued hundreds of thousands of soldiers. From September 1940 to May 1941, the Blitz, nighttime bombing raids against London and other British cities by Nazi Germany during World War II. The raids followed the failure of the German Luftwaffe to defeat Britain's Royal Air Force in the Battle of Britain. Hitler ordered the invasion of the Soviet Union, which was codenamed Operation Barbarossa, on June 22, 1941, deliberately breaking the non-aggression pact that the two countries had signed 2 years before. The invasion was the largest German military operation of World War II. And on December the 7th, 1941, the Japanese attacked the American naval base known as Pearl Harbor. A lot of people died, and there was a lot of damage done to the Pacific Fleet. This action is what brought America into the Second World War. After this, America started to fight the Japanese back in the Pacific Theater, which also means throughout the Pacific. The North African campaign of the Second World War took place in North Africa from June the 10th, 1940 to the 13th of May, 1943. It included campaigns fought in the Libyan and Egyptian deserts. The campaign was fought between the Allies, many who had colonial interests in Africa dating from the late 19th century, and the Axis power. The Allied war effort was dominated by the British Commonwealth and exiles from German-occupied Europe. The Allied invasion of Italy took place September 3rd, 1943, landing in Cabaret and Salerno. British and American forces pushed inland. The Normandy landings were the landing operation on Tuesday, June 6, 1944, of the Allied invasion of Normandy in Operation Overlord during World War II, codenamed Operation Neptune, and also often referred to as D-Day. It was the largest seaborne invasion in history. Also, at the time, the Soviet Union was pushing the Germans back into Germany after a couple of years of hardcore fighting and a lot of losses. Victory in Europe, generally known as VE Day, is a day celebrating a formal acceptance by the Allies in World War II. After the Nazis unconditionally surrendered to the armed forces on May the 8th, 1945. This happened after the Soviet Union invaded Berlin, defeating the Nazis. Also at this time, Hitler committed suicide in his bunker in Berlin, which ended the war in Europe. On August the 6th and August the 9th, the United States dropped for the first time ever in the world a nuclear bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan, killings of hundreds of thousands of people instantly. And that was the end of the Second World War.